They laughed when she signed the adoption papers. They whispered when she walked past with the dog no one wanted. They called him ugly, broken, unlovable. But on one terrifying night, when her life hung by a single moment, that same dog did what no one else could. And suddenly, the laughter stopped. In a quiet suburban town in the United States, where streets were lined with maple trees and neighbors waved politely but rarely stopped to talk, lived Emily Parker. Emily was 34, recently divorced, and painfully lonely. She worked remotely as a graphic designer, spending long days in silence. Her only company the hum of her laptop and the ticking of the clock on the wall. She wasn't unhappy exactly, but she wasn't truly living either. What she felt most days was invisible. The divorce hadn't been dramatic. No shouting, no betrayal. Just two people realizing they had slowly become strangers. After her husband moved out, the house felt larger and emptier than ever. Emily filled the silence with podcasts, background music, anything to avoid the echo of her own thoughts. But at night, when everything went quiet, the loneliness crept in. One Saturday morning, scrolling endlessly online, Emily came across a post from a local animal shelter. Senior dogs need love too. Pause. She'd never owned a dog before. Her ex hadn't wanted one. But something stirred in her chest. Maybe companionship didn't need to come from another person. Maybe it could come on four legs. The shelter smelled of disinfectant and wet fur. Dogs barked from every direction. Some excited, some desperate. Emily walked slowly past the kennels. Golden retrievers wagged their tails. Puppies jumped and yipped. Then she reached the end row. And saw him. He was older. His fur was patchy and uneven. One ear flopped awkwardly. His face bore scars from a hard life. A sign hung on his kennel. Max, 8 years old. Mixed breed. Special needs. Passed over repeatedly. Max didn't bark. He just looked at her. And something in his eyes stopped her cold. A volunteer noticed Emily staring. "Oh, him," she said gently. "Most people don't even ask about Max." Another visitor nearby laughed softly. "He's kind of ugly, isn't he?" Emily felt her chest tighten. "Ugly." The word echoed. Emily knelt beside Max's kennel. He slowly stood, tail wagging once, tentatively. She reached out. He leaned into her hand. That was it. "I want him," she said. The room went quiet. At the front desk, paperwork in hand, Emily overheard whispers. "Why him? She could have picked a puppy. That dog looks like trouble." Even the volunteer looked surprised. "You're sure?" she asked. Emily nodded. "So am I." The ride home was quiet. Max sat in the back seat, trembling slightly. Emily glanced at him through the mirror. "You're safe now," she whispered. He rested his head against the seat. The first weeks weren't easy. Max startled at loud noises, hid under tables, whimpered at night. Emily slept on the couch beside him. Slowly trust formed. Two broken souls learning how to feel safe again. They developed a routine. Morning walks, quiet afternoons, evenings curled together. Neighbors stared. Some smiled. Others whispered. Emily stopped caring. Max was family. Months later, something changed. Max became restless at night, pacing, whining. One evening, he stood between Emily and the front door, growling softly. She laughed nervously. "What is it, buddy?" But Max didn't move. It was past midnight when Emily heard glass shatter. Her heart leaped into her throat. Before she could react, Max exploded into action. Barking, snarling, charging toward the sound. A masked figure stumbled into the living room. Max lunged, teeth bared. The intruder screamed and fell backward. Emily froze. Her phone lay across the room. Max didn't attack blindly. He blocked, growled, held his ground. Long enough, Emily grabbed her phone and called 911. Sirens filled the night minutes later. The intruder fled, terrified. Emily collapsed to the floor, shaking. Max returned to her side, licked her hand. If this story is touching your heart, subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications, so you never miss powerful real-life stories about compassion, courage and second chances. Now, hear what happened next. Police confirmed the intruder had been targeting homes in the area. Emily's house would have been an easy target, if not for Max. The story spread. Neighbors who once laughed now stopped her to talk. "That dog's a hero," they said. Emily smiled. She already knew. Months later, Max's health declined. Vet visits became frequent. Emily didn't hesitate. She dipped into savings. Because love isn't measured by convenience. One night, Emily sat beside Max on the floor. "You saved me," she whispered. "I'll always save you too." Max rested his head on her knee. Emily began volunteering at the shelter, advocating for senior dogs, sharing Max's story. Because the world needed to know. Beauty doesn't bark loud, protects quietly. They laughed when she adopted the ugly dog. But that dog saw what others missed. A woman worth protecting. A home worth guarding. A love worth giving everything for. Sometimes, the ones nobody wants, become the ones who save us. If you've ever been judged for choosing compassion, remember this story. Love doesn't need approval, and heroes don't always look the part.